Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chris G Show. We're back for another one, and Halloween is under 2 weeks away. I'm getting excited. I hope you are too. I want to talk a little bit of Halloween today on the show, but first, I want to send a special shout out to all those who are performing at the Plano Comedy Festival there in Plano, Texas. That is taking place October 22nd through the 29th. I want to say good luck to all those that are performing on the Plano Comedy Festival. And if you are a fan of comedy and stand-up comedy, go out and see some of the sets that are showcases that are going to be performing and the comedians that are performing. I know several of them. I didn't sign up for the Plano Comedy Festival this year, but next year I will be throwing my name into the hat and giving it all I got. And by this time next year, I'll probably have another good solid 10, 15 minutes under my belt. But shout out to everybody doing the Plano Comedy Festival. Good luck. I hope you get a lot of great laughs, a lot of great feedback. I hope you get a bunch of followers, supporters on all your social media. And that's that. Moving on. Halloween, baby. I am excited. What are you going to be for Halloween this year? Huh? Do you live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of trick-or-treaters? Do you live in an apartment complex where they come in, or are you all the way on the third floor where they don't even bother? I've lived in all kinds of situations. I remember, growing up, trick-or-treating was a blast. In Chicago, we used to trick-or-treat as little kids, going house to house throughout the neighborhood. We would go to other neighborhoods, trick-or-treat, try to go to the better neighborhoods, maybe out in the suburbs where they give out full-size candy bars. Some of the neighborhoods I grew up in, yeah, we went trick-or-treating. It was safe enough, but some of those neighborhoods are a little sketch, if you know what I mean. But as you grow older and you're become a 6th, 7th, 8th grader, you turn into like a city punk. And then Halloween is not so great. Trick-or-treating is like a side piece. The fun comes, we used to do something called bombing. And all the punk city kids in Chicago will click up, get out there and throw eggs at people, use shaving cream people in the neighborhood, throw eggs. I one time had a banana thrown at me. That was weird. Some rotten fruit. I was riding a city bus one time, and somebody at some group of kids just was throwing like rotten fruit at the bus and stuff. It gets hectic out there on Devil's Night, man. It's no joke in the big city. And they used to always, the police department used to always threaten to every year at the beginning of October, they would send out warnings and public announcements. Hey, if your kid gets caught on Halloween with eggs, it's $20 per egg that they get caught with. They used to scare city kids like that, or, send them, tell them that they're going to get sent to jail or this, that, and the other. And I knew a bunch of kids that would, around September, start setting a carton of eggs out so they can get rotten and nasty. So when they throw them, they stink like stink bombs, and good times like that. And then as you get older, in high school, it's all about the parties. And then when you get into college, it's about the parties and dressing up and just going out there. And, people are looking sexy. People are drinking, trick-or-treating is an afterthought and all that other stuff. And then when you get out of college and all that, you're kind of like later on in life, you kind of forget about Halloween if you ain't got a party going on, or if you're just a worker, you're working and stuff like that. And then you get married, you have kids, and then Halloween comes back around, and then you could be a kid again. And you could be all the things you wanted to be when you were a kid that you didn't get to be. Now you could be them with your kids. For instance, last year, the family was Star Wars. So the little one was Baby Yoda, and my son was Luke, and I was Obi-Wan, and my wife was like R2-D2. She bought like a little R2-D2 dress, and that was cute, lightsabers and stuff like that. And then this year we are doing Ninja Turtles. So the the two boys are dressing up as Michelangelo, Raphael, and my wife got a funny. She's going to be Bebop. She's throwing this together. Or no, she's going to be Crane with the humanoid thing. Yeah, and then I'm going to be Shredder. And, well, they don't sell Shredder costumes. I had to piece this together to make it work. So I had to buy a bunch of different separate things and piecing it together. But you'll see the photos eventually of me out there looking like Shredder and got the kids. And then my neighborhood's a big trick-or-treat neighborhood. We have a good crowd that comes out. I just bought 2 giant bags of candy from Sam's Club, which I recommend definitely. Oh, we got Big Mike calling in from Chicago. Big Mike, are you there?
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Big Mike's with us.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Yeah. Little sound effects. So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I was just talking to the people about a little bit of Halloween. Talking about my neighborhood. My neighborhood is a big Halloween neighborhood. Obviously, we live in the suburbs of Dallas, and there are more residential houses, single family homes. So we have families out here, and we get a good crowd on Halloween night, no matter what night Halloween lands on. So I was just telling the folks at home, I went to Sam's Club the other day, bought 2 big giant bags of 240 piece bags for I don't know, I think they're like $19-20. You got to buy it in bulk though, because if you go to like a regular grocery store or something like that and try to buy that much candy, it's going to cost you a car payment. So
yeah, it's expensive, and I like you're buying it early, so you're getting it out the way and showing you got like strong will. You're not gonna crack into that early.
No, I did open one of the bags. I opened one of the bags. I said, "Hey, I spent $40 on this. I'm gonna get a couple pieces."
I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah, and so definitely that's a tip for all you. If you're of course part of one of the Costco's or the Sam's Club, obviously you got to have a membership to go shopping there or borrow one of your friends. But that's the way to save money because candy's expensive, and if you're in a heavy trick-or-treating neighborhood such as myself, you need some ammunition to get through the night. And we're talking all things Halloween here. What's your neighborhood like on Halloween? Do you get some trick-or-treaters at the house there? I know your building's more condo.
Yeah, I'm in a condo, so I don't really get kids. They don't come. They just don't bother, which is good financially, I guess. I ain't got to trick off. But I remember the days when I lived in the old neighborhood and I had to get candy, and this guy would throw a little haunted house on the block. So our block would get a ton of people, and I remember I spent like $70 one of the Halloweens, and I was like, I kind of wanted him to give me like $20 or something, because like without him throwing that haunted house, I would have never had to spend that much money on candy.
Right, your neighbor threw had a big setup to where it was known in the neighborhood that's the street to hit, and that caused
packed.
Yeah, that caused all the other neighborhoods, especially the ones right next door to him, to have to step their game up a little bit with giving out some candy. You don't want to be that house on the block with the lights off, dark house. You're not giving shit out.
No, that never feels good. And I always like to decorate a little bit. So like, if you decorate and you don't have candy, then you're really pulling one on the people.
Yeah, you deserve an egg at your window for sure. Yeah, I was telling before you called in, I start the pod with a little solo touch, just me ranting for about 5 minutes, and then you call in, and I was touching on how the progression of a kid growing up in Chicago. When you're young, you're doing trick or treating, you're going door to door, but when you start hitting 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you start turning into a little city punk kid, and you start going out with the boys, and you're doing something we back in the day called bombing. I don't know if they do that anymore these days. You still see any of that?
I feel like they don't. I feel like they don't do it no more. You go around the neighborhood the next day. Like, it used to be, there's always evidence
Oh yeah,
to like the mischief, and like
yeah.
that you just don't see it anymore. So I kind of think the tradition isn't really there like that anymore.
Yeah, and whether it's for the better or not, that's for another discussion. But those
I
were
mean,
fun. Yeah, go ahead.
they used to have the eggs. Like you had to come with like an ID or be an adult to buy the eggs because like
Right. Yeah.
they knew what was going on.
Yeah, I was touching on that. I said every year, like the Chicago Police Department would send out warnings, right, or bulletins in like mid September, early October, like, hey, if your kid, I don't know, that's what I heard. But like, hey, if your kid gets caught with eggs, it's $20 an egg. We're fining people and stuff like that. And I would always hear that going on. And
Yeah, it was pretty widespread too. Like a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of damaged people. I mean, you wouldn't really destroy things, but I mean, an egg in a hard to reach area that might really kick a homeowner off. And as a kid, you don't care.
yeah,
You're a young punk. You're not thinking of the consequences. You're not thinking of what the other person's dealing with. You're just having a good time.
exactly. That's why I said we were city punk kids running around just having fun. But yeah, egg, if you leave it on painted surfaces too long, it could chip the paint. At least that's what I heard. And I was saying that I knew a couple kids in the neighborhood that like in the beginning of October they would leave eggs outside to let them rot, get a little stinky. Couple of things. I remember riding a city bus once, and there was a group of kids on the corner as the bus was turning the corner. They all just started throwing like rotten fruit at the bus, like whatever a kid could get their hands on, they will throw at a car. Or you don't want to be, walking around the neighborhood by yourself. Another big one was the shaving cream. Back when we had the regular shaving cream cans.
Yeah.
The trick is you would take a straight pin needle and put it in the little dispenser, the little plastic piece at the top, melt that down around the needles so where it could be a smaller hole to where the compression, it would force it to shoot further. You know what I mean? So I remember kids showing me that little trick in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And what were some of the more unique houses in the neighborhood that gave out treats, not just your standard snack size, mini size candies? What were some of the unique houses on the block when we were trick or treating that you remember?
Well, I mean, I remember, the best ones obviously if you found somewhere where they're giving out full size candy bars, that was a big deal. Like that would travel. Like people would be like, "Yo, this house on this block is giving out full size candy bars." And people would let you know because like that was like a real lick to get that.
Absolutely.
I remember specifically one of the homes in the neighborhood would give out like pop and chips. I guess the guy was like he worked for like Pepsi, he was distributor for Pepsi.
Yep.
So he would give out like 20 ounce of Mountain Dew or something and like a bag of chips. That was always cool because it was something different. It wasn't the same old.
I remember that house. Yep, I remember that house. We would be out. It was funny. I was saying we would be out doing our punk city stuff. And then, if we got hungry or something, we just hit a house up and say trick or treat real quick and grab something. And then we would always go. We'd always
ready to go.
Yeah, we would always go try to hit that house, get a bag of chips or some soda. How about those houses? There's always one house in the neighborhood where it's like either an old couple or something, or some curmudgeon that would give out like a piece of fruit or something, like a banana or an apple, and you're like, what the hell? Toothbrush.
I remember being younger as a kid, and I remember someone giving out like pennies.
Right.
It was like a little bag of like pennies, and it's like, what is this? What are we gonna do with this?
A little bag of pennies.
Yeah, and then some people would have like homemade stuff, and it was like, the parents would come in, your dad would come in, but then you probably don't want to eat that one. You just don't know. I mean, nothing sinister going on, but you really don't know other people's whole setup. Don't be passing out homemade stuff unless you like really, really, really trust your neighbors like that.
Yeah, these days homemade stuff I don't think is gonna fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it was maybe a little more innocent back then, maybe, but like still, it was like no, not a good idea.
Yeah, good intentions, but we can't do that these days. Too many nutcases. Do you remember any of your favorite costumes?
I remember my grandmother like literally sewed me together a whole Ninja Turtle costume.
Nice.
Like she literally sewed it, like the shell, the chest piece, and like the colorful things, the little bandanas over the eyes. That was really cool. I remember that being a big deal.
Yeah.
I remember one year when I was a little bit older and we were kind of fooling around. I remember I did a really nice Violent J ICP makeup,
There you go.
and like my dad helped me, and like we did it like really nice to where it wasn't like smeared everywhere and like sweating everywhere, and that was really cool. I think I got a picture of that still somewhere, but that was a really cool one.
Did you have colored hair for that one?
Probably one more. Oh, man. Maybe like some dinosaur one. I remember I did a dinosaur as a kid, or like kind of as an adult. I did like a homemade Hollywood Hulk Hogan. That was fun. That was going to parties and drinking, and having like a chant. Had like the NWO belt and like an NWO spray painted shirt. That was a good time.
Yeah. Yep. I remember my dad made me a custom one. He got like a black hoodie. It was just like a spider. But
Yeah.
it was neat because we have a photo of it, and he got a black hoodie. He got a bunch of like black tube socks and just filled those up, and then used fish line,
Uh-huh.
and just like linked them up, from the sleeve of the actual arm, and then just linked them up down below the actual arm. So when I lift my arms up, you can see extra arms lift up and stuff like that. So, and then if I'm on the ground, it looks like 8 legs crawling and stuff. So that was that's just a neat oddball one. I remember one year, I was probably 8th, 7th grade. I was like Master P, the white Master P, back when we had all that urban camouflage at the Swaporama. Everybody was rocking that urban camouflage.
That camouflage was hot.
Another, probably one of my best ones this was back in my 20s when we were actually back into Halloween. We kind of got out of it and back into it. Went to a party. I was the Hobgoblin from Marvel's Hobgoblin.
Oh yeah, I remember that picture.
Yeah, I bought like orange fleece, cut it up, bought like blue scrubs, and and then Jamie helped me out with it. Bought like a little mini pumpkin with it, painted the face up looking like a goblin and stuff like that. So good times, and then now I got the family. Last year we were Star Wars themed. The little one was Baby Yoda, and Jack was Luke. I was Obi-Wan. Jamie was like R2-D2. She had like a little R2-D2 dress. This year we're doing the Ninja Turtles. We're doing Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be Shredder. I'm having to piece my costume together because they don't just sell a Shredder costume. As funny as that is, you would think they would sell a Shredder costume, but they sell all the turtles and stuff. So the boys are going to be Raphael, Michelangelo, and I'm Shredder. Her costume is going to be funny when you see it. She's going to be Crane with the humanoid body. Yeah, she bought like a shirt that looks like Crane's humanoid and like some cool glasses that look like the thing's goggles and stuff. So it's going to be funny. So look forward to that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so I was just telling the people before you called that, through your teens and your 20s, it's more about the partying and all the sexy costumes, and then when you get out of college and you're just slumming around a little bit, you kind of fall out of the Halloween spirit, and then obviously the natural progression, if you get married and have kids, you fall back into Halloween again, and you can be everything you wanted to be with your kids. And so
it's really cool because it's for the kids. That's always like it's for the kids. You love seeing the kids happy. You get to police their candy intake, which is great. I mean, you get to skim whatever you want off the top.
Speaking of candy, we got to talk a little bit about candy. The Halloween power rankings. What's the top candy in your book? What are you looking for? Top 3 candy. What do you like to go for?
For me, it's Kit Kat number 1.
Okay.
That's my fave. It's not too heavy. It's kind of light. It's great crunch. That's easily my ace. Um, then it's probably like a Milky Way. I like that too. That's always good. And then like a Snickers after that. Those are my top three. It's probably not like the most concisive, but like, and it's pretty chocolate heavy. But I think those three always deliver.
Definitely. Definitely. No, not throwing any fruit in the mix, huh? No fruit for you?
Nah, I mean,
Where are you
gummy
on
bears
Sour
are fine,
Patch?
but it's not.
Where are
They're
you?
good.
Where
I
are you
mean,
on Sour
it's
Patch
not. It's just
Kids?
not like to me. That's like that don't hit like Halloween for me, right? Like
Yeah.
sweet like that and like that sugary with the sour. It just doesn't. That doesn't remind me of Halloween. I mean, Sour Patch Kids were probably a little bit before us as kids. I want to think. So
Yeah,
it just
it's definitely a
doesn't
newcomer.
hit.
It's definitely a newcomer in the last 15 years with being one of the more popular candies out there. It's funny because I was looking at an article earlier. Texas and Illinois, their number one candies are Sour Patch Kids.
Really?
Yeah, Illinois, second candy is Kit Kat, followed by
Yeah.
Starburst.
Oh, yeah, Starbursts are good too, but I think it's like Starburst is something like you just don't see much of on Halloween. Once again,
Yeah, yeah. My top candy, I'm gonna switch it up. I've been really liking the Twix. Twix is probably my number one,
yeah,
followed by
that's always good.
a Reese's cup. I like a good Reese's cup. And
Yeah,
I gotta give some love to the Butterfinger. I'm a Butterfinger guy. I love a good Butterfinger. They get nice and stuck in your teeth.
yeah, that is good because the good thing about the Butterfinger is just like it's kind of like it's a unique taste. Like there's not anything else like that.
Right. So, and then after that, Kit Kat. I do love a good Kit Kat. You can't, and I like these. I like the traditional flavors. I know a lot of these companies like to come out with these weird salted caramel, sea salt,
Uh-huh.
this and like mix in some type of raspberry Kit Kat or white chocolate Twix and whatever. I'm good on that. Just give me the traditional milk chocolate taste. About the only
Yeah, I
th-
like the traditional too.
about the only thing different, I will reach for a dark chocolate Milky Way. That wasn't always the case. I've seemed to, as I get older, I have taken a liking to more dark chocolate. Um,
Yeah, me too.
I know when I was a kid, I always thought dark chocolate was just like, ugh, like what are we doing?
Yeah,
But
it's like you give it to your dad or give it to your mom. It's like you can have this one. I don't really want the dark chocolate or the almond joy.
right, and that's where I'm at in my life. I get the bottom of the barrel. When the kids run through the candy, I get the bottom of the barrel. So I'm reaching for it. You know what I've come to like? Let's talk about dead last candies a little bit
Uh,
that I've come to like a little bit. I like that York peppermint patty. It's not bad. It's really not a
I
bad.
don't like it.
You
I'm
know,
very anti peppermint as a
are
dessert.
you okay?
Yeah, so I don't like that. I don't like the ice cream like mint for brushing my teeth. I don't need it with my dessert.
I feel you. I feel you. I'm not big on Skittles. I like Skittles, but what I was saying is I'm not big on these hot tamales. These hot tamales are starting to get popular again. I don't understand it.
Oh, really?
Are you a hot tamale
I
person?
haven't I haven't had that in a long time, and probably not.
It's like the hot cinnamon taste. It's like that cinnamon tasting candy.
Uh,
Yeah. So,
yeah, no, I don't think that would really do it for me. It's like that's like too much of a palate dominating taste.
where are you on Almond Joy? The one with the coconut.
I don't really like it either. Like that's one that I would usually like pass or like you had to get real desperate.
It has to be the only thing left.
Yeah, you're like looking at it. You're like, you know what? Maybe this will do. It's got chocolate, but I'm not really a coconut guy either. I'm not like a pina colada guy.
Yeah,
Coconut don't really go for
I
me.
never been on big on coconut. And then
Coconut water, even like it's good, but I don't really care for it.
yeah. And then there's always, there's always a good Three Musketeers laying around.
Yeah, I don't mind those. But what about the controversial one is the candy corn, right? How do you feel about candy corn? Can you do a little? Is it like a no go? I
I
feel like that one brings out the craziest opinion out of people. Like it's either like banish it to the sun or I really love it.
I don't really love it. Um, I won't banish it to the sun because it has its place because it looks like Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Whether you like whether you like scary things or not, you got to have it. It seems like a decoration piece more than a candy now.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have it
Yeah.
laying around a little bit. I'll eat a piece or two here and then, but usually just to remind myself why I don't like candy corn. So yeah, I'm not a big candy corn guy, but I recognize its place in Halloween lore and Halloween decor, and so
Yeah, you can stretch that into Thanksgiving even because it's got that same vibe.
yeah. Where are you on it? You like to eat a piece or two, or you love it?
No, I'm probably in the middle, which is I guess like the non-traditional opinion, but I'm kind of like in the middle where maybe like I can eat a couple and I can understand why people like it, but then maybe you eat too many and it's like, man, this isn't natural. It tastes weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things. It's a real quick transition from, hey, this is pretty good to no more of this, please.
Yeah, no more. No more.
One real quick. Do you remember the candy that like I don't know if they still have it, but it was like wrapped up in like black and orange wrapper, and it was like I don't know, like a peanut butter hard candy. It was like
Yeah.
chewy, but it could be hard if it was stale.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. The unlabeled candy. It came in like a orange or black wax paper. Yeah, is it peanut butter?
I feel like in my memory kind of says peanut
butterscotch?
butter ish.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, maybe butterscotch. I don't remember it like because I haven't had it in a long time, but I remember that like being a prominent Halloween staple. It would always be given out somewhere.
yeah, those are like those generic, you're always going to get some generic candy, and I do like some of that generic candy. Those can kick rocks. But just like the candy corn, if you don't see a couple of those out, it doesn't really feel like Halloween, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of want to see it. If I had a kid, right, and we were doing the trick or treating and I was going through his candy, I'd hope that those are still traditionally, I hope it's still going on,
Yeah, those are still kicking around, Yeah.
Vintage. It feels vintage. It feels like something that like our grandparents probably got and it made its way all the way through,
Yeah, do you remember the strawberry? It's a strawberry hard candy that was wrapped in like a strawberry little wrapping, and it looked like a strawberry, the wrapping. Like it had a...
Yeah, that is like that old people candy, right? That traditional.
Those are solid, though. I love those. Those are good.
Yeah, those are flame.
Those are fire.
Those are time honored. I mean, those. I think those will be around well into the apocalypse.
And then, of course, you got the Tootsie Roll and the Tootsie Pop. Those are staples. Of course, I'm always gonna have a Tootsie Roll once a year, a couple times a year after Halloween, and it's only around Halloween. I'm not buying a Tootsie Roll in the store. You know what I mean? I like it. I like those 100 grand bars. You know what I really like is when they give out those little the Hershey miniature things, those little square bars, and you get a Mr. Good bar and a Mr. Crackle. Those are money.
Crackle is good.
I love the Mr. Crackle and the Mr. Good bar, which is just a chocolate candy bar with peanuts in it. Those are money. All right, that was good Halloween. I think that's about it on the Halloween stuff. I just want to get into a feel-good story. There's a lot of bad news going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
We all need we can find bad news anywhere. Radio, YouTube, turn on the TV, it's there. You turn on the sports, you look at your fantasy team, you're just going to find bad news. Here's a good news. Here's a little feel-good story. This was from last June, but it's still relevant. Yeah,
You really had to go back to find the feel-good story.
I had to go back to find a feel-good story. Ain't shit happening around here.
Things are rough in the world.
And you might have heard about this, but let me get through this here real quick. Kevin Ford, a Las Vegas Burger King worker, hadn't missed a day of work for 27 years. Have you heard this one?
Yeah.
You hear about this guy? So he works at a Las Vegas Burger King named Kevin Ford, hadn't missed a day at his fast food job for 27 years. And his company, whatever the conglomerate that owns Burger King, gave him a bag of goodies, like a swag bag, for 27 years of coming to a fast food job. And in the bag was like a Starbucks tumbler, a bag of Reese's candy, some pens, and 2 rows of Lifesavers. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, he recorded a video, posted it to his social media. The video kind of went viral. And his daughter, a few days later, started a GoFundMe. And a few weeks later, that GoFundMe ballooned to $250,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of the top donors was David Spade, the comedian. He donated $5,000. By December 2022, which was last Christmas, it got up to $389,000. And other than money donations, there was an organization such as Gratitude Power gifted him a trip to Nepal to go visit Mount Everest. That's random. That's a random gift experience. Like, just go to Nepal to see Mount Everest. How about send the guy to like a nice tropical resort or something? I don't know. And then of course, he got a trip to New York City to be on the Today Show to talk about his story. And 14 months later, the last updated one was, I checked today. I looked at his GoFundMe today. It's still up and running. Uh-huh. And today he has $437,000 in there. And with the last donation being $10 from 5 days ago. And
still clocking money. Wow.
Still clocking it. Many of the donations were $27 for the 27 years that he worked. And 14,500 people have donated to his GoFundMe to add up to $437,000. And you know what he's been doing with the money? He's a real nice guy. I watched an interview with him. He's doing the right things. You know, he gave some money to his family in Texas to buy a house. He's saving up money for his kids' college and his retirement, and he says he's going to go back to work. He's going to keep working. So that's
good, I guess.
Shout out to Kevin Ford, Las Vegas Burger King worker. I'm hoping behind the scenes Burger King did him a little bit better than, the swag bag, but that's my feel-good story.
27 years, they ought to let him franchise his own restaurant at that point.
Yeah, 27 years, they should help the guy definitely franchise his own restaurant, if
he's been there that long, he knows how to run that thing.
Yeah, he could be a general manager over like 4 or 5 stores, Let's go.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get it. But that's my feel-good story of the day. There's good people out there. Maybe if you're, working your dead-end job and you go viral, you can get a GoFundMe going. But, I had, I tried to stop eating fast food. I've been, but there were a couple years there I was going hard every morning, getting a biscuit sandwich from Whataburger. And I would tip some of the workers there a little extra, just for showing up every day. I see them every day showing up. There were a couple women in the back that were pregnant showing up to work. Kids outside spraying out the parking lot, for the oil residue from the cars or the trash and shit, showing up every day. And there was one particular kid.
It's hard work.
Yeah, there was one particular kid I wanted.
People like to diminish it, man.
There was one particular kid I wanted to give a tip to, and the next day I went and he quit the job. He didn't show up. So, damn, if he would have just showed up the next day, he would have had a $20 in his pocket. But But yeah, it's tough, man. I worked in fast food for Sonic. This was in my teens though. I can't imagine, working the fast food gig, in your 30s or 40s or 50s. It's tough having to wake up and show up every day. So hats off to the people doing that every day. And if you are out there, being being a guest at all these fast food places, give these people, if you see them all the time and they're serving you, giving you good service, tip them a little something, give them a little something extra. Fast food's the only kiosk thing where I see that they don't ask for extra tips. You know what I'm saying?
They don't roll that iPad around saying tip.
Yeah, the corporations is not letting, not pushing that for them. Everywhere else has got a little tip kiosk thing, but the fast food workers aren't doing it, and they're slowly but surely going away. So support your people. You got anything?
I got a story. So I mean, it works for both of us. It's kind of Texas. There's a little Texas to an Illinois story, a local story. So as you know, there's been an influx of migrants being bussed up from Texas to Illinois, and they come here, and there's not much infrastructure. There's not much set up for them, and they keep coming. The buses keep coming. So there's a guy who goes by the name of Michael Earhart. He runs a little not-for-profit called Taste for the Homeless. He usually cooks meals for the homeless people in the area. Meets them in the parking lot, cooks a bunch of meals almost every day of the week. And since the migrants have gotten kind of so dense and it's been so many for the last 3 weeks, he's been cooking for the migrants in a parking lot over here in a local suburb, trying to give them a home cooked meal because it's been a long travel, it's been a long route. It's not easy. It's not easy assimilating to a brand new place out of nowhere when you're not very welcome. So to see someone like him and the not-for-profit Taste for the Homeless Cafe, along with the not-for-profit House of Restoration, come out there and feed a bunch of people and take care of a bunch of people every day, pretty much. He's out there every day cooking, and that's a real good thing. Hats off to Mr. Michael Earhart. That's good stuff. People need that. That's a feel-good story.
Yeah, hats off, Michael Earhart. You said?
Yeah, Michael Earhart.
Earhart. Does he have like a page that you can support with money so he could buy groceries and food? How is he? Did you look into anything like that of how he's getting the supplies to keep cooking every day? Or
I see the website tasteforthehomeless.org, and there's a donation bar in there. So I believe a lot of it's donations from local businesses, local things, and he's been doing this for a long time. It's usually in Chicago, serving the homeless, and he goes and does that in the morning, and then he goes out to the suburbs in the evening and cooks for the migrants too. So it's really good stuff.
Yeah, I found it. Tasteforthehomeless.org. And you can get involved, you can donate, and you can help. Yeah, I found it. Our mission, the Taste for the Homeless mission, is to provide services to uplift the homeless on the street and those living in shelters to become contributing citizens by providing hot food, clothing, hygiene items, and social services.
Yeah, those people need it the most, and they're often shunned by a lot of society. So someone like him that can go out there and be selfless and to give back, that hats off. That's real good stuff. You can go on tasteforthehomeless.org and support, donate. Be a good thing. It's a good cause. Good people.
That's right. Tasteforthehomeless.org. Check it out. Donate and help feed people. Winter's coming. So moving on from that, NBA. The NBA season is upon us, and we are happy. We just wrapped up our fantasy draft last night, and just looking over a couple top NBA headlines here. I'm going to start with this. I saw something about Andre Iguodala announced his retirement today. Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, Chicago's own. Andre Iguodala. Former Finals MVP. Finally gonna hang up the gyms.
19 seasons in the NBA, primarily with Golden State, which is crazy because I remember him with the 76ers, you know what I'm saying? But he had 8 seasons with the Warriors, but he played with the 76ers for 8 seasons. So he split pretty much both times, and then he spent 2 seasons with the Miami Heat and then a season with the Nuggets. And hell of a career, man. Hell of a career.
Yeah, I love Iguodala. Love Iggy. Good, great ball player.
Yo, when he was
good person.
When he was young, he was one of the top dunkers out there. I remember he was flying, slamming.
Yeah, and he had it was a tough gig when he came in because he kind of had to be the guy who had to take the ball after Iverson left Philly. So that wasn't an easy thing.
That's right. That's, you know what? Good point on that. He was the man after Allen Iverson, and in a city that is pretty harsh critic on their sports characters, but he was one of my favorites. I remember Iguodala, you know, we're giving him his flowers. He was an all-star in 2012. He was all defensive selection in 2010, 2011, 2013, 2014 seasons. And then his greatest career moment was in 2015 NBA Finals. He earned MVP honors in large part of the defense he played against LeBron's Cavaliers. And wow, did he win MVP? Finals MVP? Wait, what was that?
Yeah, he won Finals MVP that year.
Finals MVP 2015. Wow.
On a team with Steph Curry, with Klay Thompson, big names like that. And yeah, he was the MVP. He played strong in that whole finals run.
Nice. So shout out Andre Iguodala, 19 years in the NBA. One of our favorite players to watch. I mean, just a good quality player. Moving on from that, NBA scoring title. Who you like winning the scoring title this year? You got any favorites? Well, I'm reading this article, the 5 players that they named that could potentially win it. Starting at 5, Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves, Donovan Mitchell, Cavaliers, Luka Doncic, Mavericks, Embiid, 76ers, and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is their number 1 pick.
That makes sense. You know, SGA, I think he went to 35 points a game last year. He's a baller, man, and he's emerged. You know, he really emerged. I remember he got drafted by the Clippers, and then got traded to Oklahoma City for I think the Paul George deal.
Paul George swap.
And yeah, what a star he's molded himself into. I think it's very possible he could win that.
That Oklahoma City.
I kind of like Luka. I kind of like Luka. I think Embiid probably may not score as much this year. And he played so much last year winning the MVP, and he dug pretty deep. I think he kind of needs to reserve a little bit more during the regular season and save something for the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Thoughts on Donovan Mitchell? He had a 71-point game against our Bulls.
Yeah, against the Bulls. I drafted him this year in fantasy, so obviously, you know, I hope it's good news and it's all good health. But he's a baller, man. He went there and he upped his averages. He hit more threes. He got more assists. He shot better from the field and really was the leader of that team. I know they kind of flamed out a little early in the playoffs, but he's a guy he's a scorer. You know, he's an elite scorer and he's got elite speed and he knows how to get it done.
Do you think? What's your thoughts this year on Luka and Kyrie Irving? Are we gonna make this work or what?
I would guess so, because they both are aware now. They both kind of bought in. It has to be smoother than last year. It has to look better than last year. So I'm not sure the team's necessarily going to go deep or anything, but I mean, I would assume these two have to have had conversations and played together enough to kind of know each other's strengths and weaknesses and how they can attack other teams this season a little bit more than just kind of falling back and playing, hot potato with it. Like you go, I go, you go, I go, which happened a little bit during last season. So I think that'll work. I'm not like the biggest Kyrie guy, especially as an off ball. But I mean, he's effective and he's a heck of an offensive talent. So I think they can make it work.
Go Mavericks. Anything else you want to touch on NBA wise? I mean,
everyone's excited to see the Suns opening night, right? It's kind of, I don't know if we're doing the super team thing anymore, but it's in the mold of the super team. Beal, KD, Booker. What's that going to look like? How's that going to play? I think that they open the season against Golden State on Tuesday, and the Nuggets, right? Can the Nuggets defend that title? Is Jokic going to keep it up? He seems like he can keep it up, but are they going to be able to defend that title? Do the Lakers get enough depth that they can compete with Denver? Is Golden State going to reload? Now they got Chris Paul. I mean, I don't know how the fit works, but can they get it back? It's an endless amount of storylines in the NBA this year. I'm really excited, really looking forward to watching how it goes. And then on top of it, you got that weird middle of the season tournament. I don't know how that's going to be. So it's an exciting season, and I know sometimes it feels like it's a slog to get from the playoffs to the playoffs, but I mean it's a very talented league. There's a ton of young talent. It's top notch viewing. Can't wait.
Absolutely. NBA talk. That's what you get here. And we'll be touching more on it as the season progresses, and we'll definitely talk about that middle of the season tournament, which we're still confused by all that. NFL, we had the Jaguars-Saints game last night, which wasn't too bad of the game. It was actually pretty decent. Did you watch any of that? No?
Yeah, I had it on. Tough look for the Saints, man. That drop in the end zone by the tight end. That was rough.
Dude,
that was really rough.
That was tough. That was tough.
I mean, that was Trevor Lawrence's first win in the Superdome, right? He lost there twice in college. His only 2 college losses were in the Superdome, so he got his first one over there. I know he's happy.
And what's his name? Kirk. Man, that was a hell of a game-winning. Well, the last touchdown that they scored, that was a good game-winning touchdown by him en route, and then he just took off. His speed burst is crazy. He's a good receiver. Jaguars got some pieces, man. Jaguars got pieces.
Yeah, and the defense is playing pretty good. That's the thing I think that is kind of taking. Like I expect the offense to look good. I expect Lawrence to play well, but it's like the defense has been stepping up, and I mean they let the Saints score a couple touchdowns late, but that defense is pretty decent, and it's not something I think a lot of people expect.
Yeah, shout out Alvin Kamara. He's beast. Still a beast.
PPR cheat code, man.
PPR cheat code, that's for sure. And then I had Travis Etienne, man, another outstanding running back there. I'm just looking
6 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
It's crazy. He's the only one that's keeping my fantasy team afloat, really.
He only had 5 all of last season too, so it's good to see.
I'm just looking through the Sunday schedule. There's nothing. I mean, Lions, Ravens. Are we looking anything exciting about that one?
Obviously, the big game this week is Dolphins Eagles Sunday night. That's the big.
Yep.
That's the big one. That's the big fish. I want to see that one. I need Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, Tua. There's no shortage of stars in that game. Mostert. That's going to be fun Sunday. I hope it's a good game.
Yeah, they gave us a good one Sunday night for sure. I'll be Dolphins. Tua's having pretty good year this year. Probably better than Jalen Hurts. At least that's what I heard. But
little bit. Jalen's looked good, but the Eagles' offense hasn't looked like it looked last year.
No, but they'll get around to it, and I'll be interested to see how Dolphins play on the road in Philly. See how that offense can carry itself.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm also excited for Chargers Chiefs. I know I'm always I'm a Chargers fan, but like that should be a good game. That should be a very solid matchup. Chargers desperately need to win after kind of jagging that one on Monday to the Cowboys. And Patrick Mahomes, I mean, appointment TV, anytime you can watch Patrick Mahomes on TV. So that should be a good matchup, big AFC West battle.
That's right. 3 o'clock, 3:25 CBS Central Time for all the Swifties out there. Tune in. And then, I mean, Monday Night Football, Niners, Vikings, there's not much going on there.
Kind of just, is McCaffrey going to play or not? That's the big deal with that one.
We're deep in the bye weeks now, so some dud games out there on Sunday. I mean,
can the NFL please adjust something where it's like 6 teams in a bye week, 2 teams in a bye week, 6 teams in a bye week? Can we even these things out? Can we get this to like make a little more sense? It can't be that hard to get done.
Yeah, there. Bye week rant. There's your bye week rant.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What are we doing here? It doesn't need to be this way. It just doesn't.
Well, anything else you want to touch on real quick sports-wise? I mean, the Rangers, they came out looking hot. Won 2 games in Houston. Came back game 3. I was looking to buy a ticket to go to game 3. I'm glad I didn't now. And then Max Scherzer wets the bed. And then we've dropped 2 since. And then now, game 5 today. And if the Rangers don't win, it's going back to Houston for the next 2. So I don't know, man.
It feels kind of must win for the Rangers.
It's must win for
maybe
sure.
Maybe they should not pitch to Yordan Alvarez. I mean, that'd be my strategy if I was a manager. I'm walking that guy and not letting him mash the ball 500 yards, 500 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
Intentional walk, Alvarez.
Well, go Rangers. Good luck. Let's get back on
the
track.
Phillies D-backs, I think Phillies are up 3-1, I want to say, in the series. Or is it 2-1? I think it's 3-1.
You're probably right if they were giving out tickets for $15 in Arizona.
No, 2-1. I was wrong. 2-1 Phillies. Arizona got the walk-off win in the last game in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, the Phillies were rolling. They were kind of hyped up. I know they dropped 1 last series, so it could just be another blip in the road, or could the Diamondbacks rally? Can they stop Schwarber and Trey Turner and Bryce Harper and rally the couple wins here to go back to Philly with a chance to take it? I don't know, but the pitching duel yesterday was something special. That rookie to go out there, have 8+ strikeouts, no walks, and 7-8 innings. That's impressive.
Wow, a rookie, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, we're winding down. Anything else you got to add today?
Not really. You go Bulls. We're gonna watch that Bears game, I guess, and then it's not gonna be fun. But
we're skipping the Bears segment this week. We're not. There's
nothing good to talk about. It's gonna be rookie versus rookie backup quarterbacks. I don't know.
Load up on Raiders defense if you're playing DraftKings.
Yeah, pretty much. Josh Jacobs, put him in the MVP spot. He's probably going to pay off.
All right. Well, that does it for our for Chicago Mike calling in. We'll holler at you next week, Mike.
Yeah, man. As always, have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. I'll holler.
All right, man. Have a good weekend. We'll see you.
Thanks.
And that was Mike. And that does it for the Chris G Show this week. Tune in next week. I just want to say shout out again to all the people participating in the Plano Comedy Festival. And good luck to all y'all's fantasy team. I hope you find your Halloween costume that you want to put together. And happy Halloween and have a great time trick-or-treating.